What is up, Rocks of the Rock Nation? This is your fellow Rocker, your ex, Rockerman X, and I'm here right now with my WWE Hell in a Cell 2016 pay-per-view results and review. Now, about Hell in a Cell, which is basically the second ever Raw exclusive pay-per-view since the brand split happened back in June, July. I'm pretty sure it was July. I don't remember exactly when. I'm pretty sure it was June, July. It was 3 months. Well, let me say October, 3 months. So it'll be October, September, August, July. So about the end of June, beginning of July. I'm pretty damn sure. I could be wrong. However, as for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in general, other than that little tidbit, which is everyone already knows that by now. But, yeah, I felt like tonight's pay-per-view delivered. I will forever, and I still stick by with the fact that the 3 Hell in a Cell matches were a bit overkill for the Hell in a Cell match type. But, for the way they done it, and they done it, actually the funny thing is they did it exactly how I said they should have done it. One at the beginning, one in the middle, one at the end. Because they had the Hell in a Cell in the beginning, they had the 2 matches in between, Hell in a Cell in the middle, then they had 2 more matches, and then they had the main event Hell in a Cell last. And ultimately, though, can I just say, again, this pay-per-view to me delivered what we wanted. And I say that because, there's really 2 actually, I want to say probably about 3 matches out of the 8 total, if you count the kickoff match, that I had issues with. But they weren't they were just a personal sort of grievances with it. I felt I could tell, just personal grievances. They're not anything that's oh, fucking ruining in WWE type. It's just personal grievances that I'll get to as time comes. But it's yeah, as for the kickoff match, we had obviously Cedric Alexander, Lince Dorado, probably said that name totally wrong, and Cara versus Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, and Ariya Daivari. And ultimately, I thought this match was an okay kickoff match. I mean, it's a cruiserweight division, which, for the WWE not giving many cruiserweight stories, except for obviously the main 2 people right now, Kendrick and Perkins. I thought it was a good match, just a good old-fashioned wrestling match. But, but then again, I still feel like they need to give some of these cruiserweight stories, or else people's not going to be interested in them. I understand they're, I don't know, that's just how I'm seeing it in general, and I've just been thinking about, as I said last time, probably give them stories and stuff like that. Overall, though, the match in general I thought was a good match. Simple as that. It was a good kickoff match. It was another good way to showcase your cruiserweight division, since, you can't really have the cruiserweights constantly like they used to be able to have them. And there's some people, I'm pretty sure, in the heavyweight division that could be considered cruiserweights, honestly. And that's the thing, because I remember, back in the old days, you could be a cruiserweight, but you could still be world champion, like Rey Mysterio. He was technically a cruiserweight. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking Eddie Guerrero, back when he was still alive. I'm pretty sure, he was a cruiserweight, but I'm pretty sure he was a world champion. I say world champion in quotes because I think it was the WWE title at the time, if I remember right. But the point of it is, you get my point. Essentially, it's a world championship. So, that's just me saying that. That's completely underrated. But, again, I thought this match was a good match. That's really what I got to say about it, honestly. But overall, you had Cedric Alexander, Lince Dorado, and Sin Cara win on the kickoff. Simple as that. Moving on to the main show, we had the first Hell in a Cell match of the night. Excuse me. Which was the United States, I don't know why my notes said stated, but it's, I should probably fix that. But it says United States Championship match, the Hell in a Cell. Roman Reigns versus Rusev. The first Hell in a Cell match of the night. The first main event of the night. But technically, I'm sorry. There's only one true main event. But I did feel like this match delivered. Heavily delivered. What we wanted. At least, because we had... I'm going to say this now. We had 3 different Hell in a Cell. Like, literally, I'm sitting here watching Raw talk as I'm recording this. So, as Roman Reigns said, you had 3 different Hell in a Cell matches, telling 3 different stories, and just the way it clicked, it worked, I guess you could say. And ultimately, I thought this match delivered. I mean, you had like Rusev with Roman Reigns on the steps with the chain, doing the accolade with the chain in the mouth, pretty much. Let's see that. After Roman Reigns got out of that, you had the finish of the match, which was the jumping spear with Rusev standing on the steps, and Reigns just speared him off him and landed. That was a hell of a spot in that match. Like, that's like a memorable spot that I can think of off the top of my head. But ultimately, though, this match I felt like delivered, and it was for an opening match, for an opening outside match. In a way, it was brutal. Granted, you can say the later matches were even more brutal, which is true, but for an opener Hell in a Cell match, it delivered right on the level it should have. I felt like. So there's that. But, yeah. Roman Reigns won, and he is still your United States champion. Now, moving on to one of the 3 matches that I kind of have a slight grievance with. We have Bayley versus Dana Brooke. And nothing against Bayley, nothing against Dana Brooke. But I honestly just don't like Dana Brooke. Maybe it's that. Like, this match just seemed, I don't want to say terrible. I mean, that's kind of an overstatement. Terrible. But it was like, it just didn't seem like a good match, honestly. Like, some parts in it could be good. Other parts in it kind of just seemed terrible. And I don't want to say that word, as I said, but it just seemed so... It seemed off in so many ways. And truthfully, I don't think... Maybe it's because people are going to say, oh, you're a Bayley fanboy. Well, maybe I am. But I don't think that was Bayley's fault. I feel like it was more because of Dana Brooke. Maybe it's because I personally don't like Dana Brooke. I mean, granted, tonight she looked like she just got out of bed with that hair. Just saying. I mean, who knows whose dick she was sucking backstage. Kidding! Nobody kill me. But, God, I can't believe I just said that. Fuck it, we're going with it. Again, I don't know what... And my fucking thing is go off, but I'll check it later. But I just don't know how I feel about this match. I really don't. I mean, I liked it, I enjoyed it, but it just seems so off. That's the best way to explain it. However, Bayley won. She picked up the victory. Hell yeah. Now, moving on to the second match that I kind of have a slight grievance with. Which, I kind of figured it was... honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen this way. I didn't think they were going to win because, I'm sorry, Gallows or Anderson... How many losses have they had in a row on the main roster? Well, on Raw, and then all of a sudden they win at a pay-per-view. I did say they needed to win desperately, which is true. But I just don't understand the point. And like, oh yeah, let's have Gallows and Anderson lose constantly. And then all of a sudden pay-per-view, oh fuck, they win. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get that, but I did say they need to win desperately. And that is true. But about that's probably a slight grievance that I have with it, but maybe it's just because I favor Enzo and Cass more. But as for the match in general, I enjoyed it. It was a good tag team match. It was a fun tag team match. I mean, we had, obviously, Big Cass doing his stuff, the big boots, stuff like that, getting caught up, getting tangled in the rope with a big boot, Enzo trying to take on, I think, was it the Gallows or Anderson? I think it was Anderson he tried to take on. Might have been Gallows. I'm pretty sure, and then obviously ending, Magic Killer, boom, whatever, so it's like, But I did feel like this match was another good match. It was, in some ways, back and forth. It was entertaining. Anytime Enzo and Cass is out there, no matter who they're against, it's always entertaining as well, because it's Enzo and Cass. They say some of the best lines you can think of WWE today, no matter if they make sense or not. You just can't help but laugh at those lines they say. And it's its own cast, as I said. So, there's that. But, as I said, Gallows and Anderson won. Boom. Simple as that. Moving on to the next match, which was the Hell in a Cell match that did not main event. Which, I'm glad for in a way. We have the WWE Universal Championship match, the Hell in a Cell. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Surprisingly before the Cruiserweight or Tag Team Championship match. Honestly, I probably would have put... I don't know. That seems kind of weird to me. I mean, I figured the Cruiserweight would go before that, but it didn't. But, you know. Ultimately, this match, again, just like the first Hell in a Cell, it fucking delivered. It literally set it on fire because... and I feel like it really did. And this one really did. Just like the United States match set up for the Universal Championship match, this Hell in a Cell match really kind of set it up for the women's Hell in a Cell match. And, you know, this match was a hell of a match. I can think of so much shit that happened. Fucking Seth Rollins getting cannonballed in the corner of the cell. You know, actually twice. Got cannonballed in the ring, then cannonballed in the corner of the cell. You know, possibly my favorite spot in the match and the most memorable to me. Fucking Kevin Owens getting powerbombed by Seth through not one, but 2 tables. And that looked fucking nasty as hell. Let me think. Oh yeah, Chris Jericho interfering when he just... I'm pretty sure it's planned by... It'd be planned by Owens and Jericho, you know, where he took the fire extinguisher and accidentally, and I say that, but accidentally sprayed the referee. The other referee comes in, checks on the referee officiating in the ring. Jericho comes running in, grabs the keys, locks the door, so he's locked in with Jericho, or Jericho's initially locked in with Rollins and Owens, and, you know, of course, obviously, fuck. You know, Jericho helps Owens win, so there's that, but, you know, and not Jericho, but Rollins was his backer, you know, just seeing the tape get ripped off too, and that was kind of brutal a little bit, but, you know, and this, again, really did set the bar in a way, because this match was also brutal, and that's what I like about these Hell in a Cell matches, you know, they can be brutal in so many different ways, and I felt like this one really did, you know, Owens getting suplexed on the ring apron, you know, the hardest part of the ring. That also was another good spot. But again, my favorite spot would still be the powerbomb. Owens getting powerbombed through those 2 tables. You know, again, this match is pulling it back and forth all the way through, and then Jericho obviously got involved, which, you know, no DQ. So, fuck it, he can do whatever the hell he wants. And then, obviously, we have Owens retaining the Universal Championship because of it. And then at the end, where Rollins just gets Would you say code breakered or code broke? Code braked. I don't know, code braked or code breaked. Yeah, I think it'd be code braked. Whatever, you get my point, what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry, off topic, but, you know, but yeah. This Hell in a Cell match, another good one. Kevin Owens won, and he retained the Israel Championship. Honestly, kind of sad. Now, moving on, we have the... I don't say kind of sad, because, you know, a lot of people probably were rooting for Owens. I was more on the Seth side of this authority, but anytime you see Jericho, you gotta love it, because you just made the list. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, when you see Jericho pull his shenanigans, you just gotta enjoy it, because it's fucking Chris Jericho. You have to enjoy his shit. Now, moving on, though, we have the next match, the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match. TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, and I thought this match was okay at best. I mean, I like Brian Kendrick. I like TJ Perkins. You know, I feel like I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this match, despite it just being an okay match, because it just seemed really, I don't want to say bad or off like Bayley and Dana Brooke, but it just seemed kind of average, I guess you can say, for a pay-per-view. But it's still good, you know. I mean, you know, fucking Brian Kendrick taking Perkins' wrist tape and taping him to the ropes with his own wrist tape, you know. And at the end, where Kendrick faked the leg injury just so he can get the, what is it called, slice bread? Or is there another name for his finish? Captain's hook? I don't remember what his finisher is called now. I know he has sliced bread, but I don't know if that's the same thing as his submission. Unless he does that, and I don't know. I don't remember. Point of it is, he does that. He got the win. He kind of whatever. I thought this match was a good match, but here's the question though. Oh, of course, on the Raw Talk right now. I'm sorry. I have Raw Talk on. I'm like, oh, of course, Jericho and Owens interrupts Bayley and takes her ice bag off her shoulder. Of course. I'm sorry, but I just find that sorry. I just had to say that because I'm just looking at it and it's like, damn. Anyway, the point of it is, what I was back to the Cruiserweight Championship match. So, my question is, whenever Kendrick had Perkins in his submission, did Perkins submit or did he submit? I mean, obviously he submitted, but what I'm saying though is, did he, obviously I know it's all staged and the whole finisher stage, it's how wrestling is, What they do in that ring is real, possibly injury, but again, of course, the finishes are usually kind of staged up, or the outcome of who's going to win, whatever. But what I'm saying though is, in storyline-wise, did he let Kendrick win is what I'm basically saying. But, either way, I did find this match enjoyable. It's fun, stuff like that. And the man that I wanted to win, personally, Brian Kendrick, is now your new Cruiserweight Champion. As I said, he needed at least one run before he retired with the Cruiserweight title. And here he is. Obviously, he probably needs to run with the world title too before he retires. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that when the time comes. But moving on, we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match, and this is the third match I kind of had a grievance with. Why? Because to me, this felt like a Raw match. Why did it feel like a Raw match? Just the finishes. Like at SummerSlam, I can understand Big E running down to the ring and getting disqualification. But ultimately, it's like the New Day getting DQ'd pretty much. That's what made it feel more like a Raw match. Probably because of what's been happening the past few weeks on Raw anyway, with the whole crazy and stuff like that, You had oh yeah. You had Sheamus with Francesca, he hit Big E trying to help out Xavier, who was in the sharpshooter, who Cesaro had in the sharpshooter, and then trying to think, and then Kofi gets involved, who was managing, of course, Xavier and Big E, and Sheamus is going to attack him, but he ducks and boom, trouble in paradise by Kofi to Sheamus. Referee gets the DQ, or if they get the DQ because the referee saw that, and not Xavier, which was tapping just a split second before or after he called for disqualification. Which, ultimately, though, no matter if it did feel like a Raw match, it was still a good match for the pay-per-view. I mean, Sheamus and Cesaro, they won on Raw. So it's like, I kind of figured anyway there's going to be some shenanigans happening with this match because, with the match happening on Raw for non-title and then it comes to the title. It comes to the title on the pay-per-view. I feel like there's going to be some shenanigans anyway happening, but personally that's just me. Ultimately, though, I still enjoyed the match. It was a fun match. It was back and forth. Whatever happened on the outcome. So fucking glad the New Day is still your Raw Tag Team Champions. And again, Cesaro and Sheamus won by DQ, but the New Day are still your Raw Tag Team Champions because New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Okay, not doing that because people are trying to sleep in the house. Oh god, I'm so stupid. But again, this match was back and forth. It was plenty fun, so whatever. Then you come down to the Raw Women's Championship match, the main event. The women not only main event on Raw a few weeks ago, but they main evented the pay-per-view, which is shocking as well because it's like holy shit, they actually let the women main event, on a pay-per-view at that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's happened before in the past at some point, like way, way, way in the past, like back in the olden days. But happening now just seems so surreal, I guess you could say, because like, holy fuck, the women are actually main eventing. And I gotta say, god damn it, Jericho with his list just sitting there. I'm sorry, a Raw talk. Go away, please, for now. I didn't want to turn it off, so I'm like, whatever. But, you know, the Raw Women's Championship match, the Hell in a Cell, Sasha Banks and Charlotte. You know, Sasha going as champion, Charlotte the challenger. It was just so fucking... holy shit. And I'm just glad I did not miss this match, because I'm granted I watched Hell in a Cell over Walking Dead. Rip. But, you know, Raw, I mean, this match just seemed everything you could want in a Hell in a Cell. At least from a woman's standpoint, because, you know, I said in my predictions, you know, if they was going to main event the pay-per-view, they needed to let the women go all out for this pay-per-view. Of course, I'm talking about the women as in Sasha and Charlotte. They needed to let them go all out. Why? Because why be the point of the main event if they didn't go all out? I mean, you had fucking the main event in entrance they deserve, you know. Charlotte coming out with her as her whole queen gimmick, you know, on the throne. But I'm sorry, Charlotte, you're not fucking Triple H. You can't have a throne. Oh, God, I'm sorry. And then you had, of course, Sasha come out and the whole limo thing. You know, that was cool. And then, before the match started, you had the brawl breakout, you know. Charlotte attacked Sasha, you know. They went to the crowd, came back. Sasha gets powerbombed through the announce table, and that bump looked fucking nasty as hell. And I say that because it's just like, the way she bounced just looked sick. And considering that was even from the top of the cell, like Mick Foley getting thrown off or anything, which I'm pretty sure they did that because of Mick Foley. You know, they had to kind of give that announce table spot kind of like as a reference to Mick Foley getting put through the announce table back in the first Hell in a Cell. But you get, or not first or second, whatever. Point of it is back in the Hell in a Cell. You know what I'm saying? You know, him getting just... They kind of gave that spot, you know, she gets put through, you know, the brawl breaks out, Sasha gets put through the table, you know, the stretcher gimmick too, I felt it was kind of a throwback to Mick Foley as well, as man, you know, I kind of feel like that. I mean, you know, what else do you want to do? Kind of just a throwback, and then, you know, when the announcers, you know, do by forfeit, Charlotte's the new women's champion, you know, Charlotte gets up, she comes back, but... Again, this match had a lot of shit, and I'm just glad to let the women go all out, you know. It just looked fucking... Maybe just because it was the women's match, that it looked more fucking brutal than what it should have looked like. I mean, Charlotte even got through a table, too. Granted, it was just because of a soft kick, but you get my point. You know, and again, it was just so... This match was just so... holy shit worthy. You know, I can't even explain it, how much I enjoyed this match. It was just holy shit. But this match did not disappoint like I was afraid it was going to. You know, they let them go all out. I keep saying this, but they let them go all out how they should have. Even if it wasn't to the fullest amount of letting him go all out, like going to the top of the cell, or, you know, stuff like that, you know, they at least climbed it a bit, but the point of it is, you know, again, just, no, I can't really say anything about this match. It was just, nothing, I can't say anything bad about this match, honestly, but, yeah. Ultimately, though, at the end, the finish, you know, Sasha gets stunned with the announce table, she rolls off, Charlotte hits her with a natural selection. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte is your new and I believe, yeah, 3-time women's champion. I almost said 2, but I'm like, oh no way, it is 3. Because I forgot she lost it once almost. But it's like, kind of, I don't know how I feel about that though. It's like, both women put on a hell of a show, and I literally mean a hell of a show. But it's like, oh, Sasha, or not, but it's like, oh, Sasha lost in her hometown. You know, she's from Boston. And it's just like, oh, Charlotte won. I mean, I see what WWE was trying to do, you know, if the, you know, the heel heat. They're trying to put, you know, if they're going to give the belt to Charlotte again, You know, why not put some heel heat on her? But here's the thing. I just want to know something. If Sasha's back didn't actually get injured during that match, and that's why they didn't change the finish last minute like that, and if Sasha was actually supposed to win, or what, but, you know, again, if we're going to have Charlotte win, they might as well do it and obviously get some heel heat on her and do it in Sasha's hometown. But again, it's like, Sasha Banks, she has not had a decent run with the title at all, you know. Charlotte, again, her reign started when she was the Divas champion, and it just continued and continued. And not saying, you know, continued and continued and continued. And I feel like, you know, there's been, you know, with Charlotte and Sasha, there's been way too much flip-flopping with the Women's Championship if you want to mean something. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, because it obviously means something. I mean, look at this Hell in a Cell match, for example. First ever Women's Hell in a Cell match in history, and for the title. But it's just like, why is there so much flip-flopping with the women's title? On Raw at that. It's just like, I don't know how to put it. It seems kind of redundant. It seems ridiculous that there's so much flip-flopping with the women's title on Raw. You know, Sasha won it from Charlotte. Oh, at the next pay-per-view, Charlotte won against Sasha. Sasha won it on Raw against Charlotte. What happens in the next pay-per-view? Oh, guess what? Charlotte wins it back. It's like just so much flip-flopping. It's not even funny. You know, and I just feel like Sasha is getting cheated out of a decent run with the title. I really do. Maybe that's just me personally. Some people can get pissed off at that. I really don't give a fuck. Again, that's just how I feel about it. That's what I'm thinking about it, you know. If you guys agree with me, let me know. And, you know, if you guys don't agree with me, even let me know. But try to do it respectfully and not like in an asshole way, because, you know. But overall, again, Charlotte won, and she is your new Raw Women's Champion. And for that ends my review video for Hell in a Cell. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this pay-per-view. I definitely did enjoy it, even as I said, I did have a few minor grievances. Actually, so there's that. But yeah. You know, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Shoot me on my social medias down in the description as well. Whatever. And until next time, guys, live free and rock.